Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to do the first rebuild on my channel, and we're going to start off with the Buffalo Bills. They're not really in the need for a rebuild. They're a pretty damn good team, but they're my favorite team, so I decided to start with them first. They have some great players, but there are some places that we can definitely upgrade upon. Let's get into it and go over the roster. There's definitely a lot to work with on this Bills roster. Obviously, we know. Um, Josh Allen could be the best, considered the best quarterback in the league. I'm a little biased, but definitely top five, top three. Definitely put him in that equation. But for me, top one. Um, Running back James Cook, obviously one of the top running backs, puts up a ton of production, and that's why we gave him a 4-year deal. Um, Definitely some upgrades to be had on the line and receiving core and tight end, even though we do have Kincaid, but he's not rated fairly high, so it'll depend on how he develops. Receivers could also develop with Shakir and Coleman, who are both very young still, but they're not particularly high rated, so it'll depend on Madden development, obviously. In real life, they definitely could still have a huge breakout. Neither of them have shown true number one talent like you would consider on some other teams. But definitely have been solid options. And with this year, the Bills have switched to focusing more on the run than the passing game, even though it's still plenty favorited. There's definitely still a chance that they become number one talent, especially with a great quarterback as Josh Allen is. On defense, definitely some stars with Rousseau and Ed Oliver. Um, and I will most likely be trading some of the older guys in Bosa and Milano. Maybe not this year, but they're at their peak talent in Madden, and it is definitely probably the time, at least in Madden, to trade them. Um, we we definitely could use some upgrades on the linebacking core and safety. Both safeties could definitely use upgrading, but it all also depends on how players develop and how rookies develop. In Hairston, that's how it's pronounced. Uh, Sanders and Jackson. I will look to get the rookies as much playtime as possible. But right now we do have full-time players in those spots. So it'll depend on what we trade at midseason. And just how this team overall develops. Special teams obviously not as that important, but Tyler Bass and Robbins. And yeah, so let's get into this. And we need I expect to, because we're gonna be in the conversation for Super Bowls right away. So I would like to see multiple Super Bowls from this team in this rebuild. All right, we're going to get into training camp, but before that, I just wanted to make a quick point to always make sure in weekly strategies before you do training camp to have the the XP boost for training camp, because, well, both it'll give you the XP boost, but then if you have it fully maxed out, you get the 5% boost to dev trait upgrades, which is a huge boost. And I know you've probably heard it a million times to put this on, but definitely always a reminder anytime you're doing a rebuild. If you're playing and doing training camp, put this on because it's a huge help. I probably will not show you all of training camp, but there's definitely some drills that I'm terrible at, so those are probably the more interesting ones. But we'll get into training camp, and I'll bring you in when interesting stuff happens. Alright, gold for Josh Allen. Just gonna be XP because no dev trait upgrade is available. But get him a skill point. Did not do bucket drop because I suck, and I would never get gold on that. I would be there for 3 hours trying that, and it still wouldn't happen. So on to rushing attack. I will see you when there's something interesting. Gold for James Cook. Possibly dev trait upgrade. That would be lovely. Superstar X Factor. But at least some skill points. Alright, just skill points. On to wide receiver battle. Okay, gold for Shakir. Dev trait upgrade would be great here. That would give us a more feeling. Nope. I was gonna say a more feeling of a positive #1 receiver, but nope. Gold for Gregory Rousseau. Dev trait upgrade would be great. Haven't gotten one yet. Nope, just skill points. Alrighty. Alright, after training camp, these are this is the team overalls, or players overall. Not too much has changed, but some players have gotten better. I'm going to probably get the rookies in more of a starting position once the regular season comes around, but for now, for preseason, this is how we will go. We have a few storylines to go over. We have a position battle. I'm not sure who this would be on. Dalton Kincaid. He will most likely start, so I prefer him over Knox. And so we'll go ahead and say we'll talk after preseason. Okay. Alright, trainer talk was just going over wear and tear, which we already know about, and does not play as big of a role in rebuilds as in playing game to game. We're going to go ahead and advance through preseason and get started with the regular season. All right, regular season week 1. It's time to hire and assign scouts. We'll also get our first look at the prospect list. Keeping it auto-generated rookies because that's the most way to have the best fun. Because we know how obviously real players are going to be, how good they are going to be. This is the best way to give some variability. So for our region breakdown, it looks like the strengths are defensive tackle, wide receiver, and cornerback, and the Weaknesses are right guard, free safety, and middle linebacker. We could definitely look at any of those strengths. We could be in the market for any of them. Probably less so cornerback, but definitely wide receiver. It looks like number one overall projected right now is Dom Holman, most likely. And then we got a offensive tackle, a D tackle, a quarterback. Definitely not looking for a quarterback, and then an RB actually projected top five. For national, our strengths in the West are DT, wide receiver, and cornerback. Um, it looks like the receiver is from the West region, so we'll definitely be looking at receiver, most likely nationally too, but definitely in the West region. Central has strengths of DT, cornerback, left tackle, and the Northeast has strengths of wide receiver, quarterback, and cornerback. No need on the quarterback, but it looks like they have their top two are projected. Number 4 and 8 are both quarterbacks, and then southeast region is left edge, defensive tackle, and left tackle. Definitely, all of those could always consider. Yes, we would definitely be in the market for wide receiver, off anything on the offensive line. Um, Definitely can use help there. And then most likely edge, always need help there. Safety and anywhere on the linebacker core would be our top needs. But definitely interested in the receiver, though we will not be picking most likely anywhere near number 1. So probably not going to be in the market for Dom Holman. But we'll see how the season goes, and I will fix our scouts and come back and show you that in a minute. All right, for our scouts, for the national scout, we're looking at wide receiver and corner, and that is a tier 3 scout. And then for the West, we're looking at wide receiver and corner again, just because those are the strengths, and I do want to kind of see how good the wide receiver number 1 is, though we'll probably not be able to get in any position to get him, but we'll have him covered. And then for Central, which is another tier 3 scout, because I have the perk bought for the head coach that allows me to have more than one tier 3 scout. I only have it upgraded to have 2, but eventually I will upgrade that to have more when we have more coach points. But that is scout is going to be looking at D tackle and offensive tackle. And then in the south or northeast, I could not find a scout that fit with what I wanted. I wanted to look at the D tackles, but D tackle at 11, so we ended up with just something not getting the boost for the strength of the class. But we ended up with D tackle and interior O line, which ends up being partly a weakness. So not great on the Northeast. And then for the Southeast, we ended up with D tackle and edge rusher. Could have gone for O tackle, but ended up with D tackle and edge. And this is a tier 1 scout. And so is the Northeast. But definitely looking at the edge and the D tackles. And that will be our scouting setup for this year. This is going to be the final lineup for the start of the season. I moved up Coleman so he can get more playing time like he is in real life. On and off, he's on and off good, but we'll see. Um, and then nothing. Oh, and then I moved up Kincaid like I talked about um, earlier in the video. Um, and then for the defense, the only changes is made sure Sanders was in a starting spot. And then I also moved up Hairston to corner number 2, so he can get a little bit more playing time and hopefully upgrade. Other than those changes, the roster's the same, and I will see you in the at the midseason mark, and we'll decide if we're making any trades. All right, 5-1, kind of what it was expected. Very good. Um, I will give you a quick update on the team. We definitely have. We definitely have had some development. And the team is starting to look really good. Shakir all the way up to playing up to an 88. And not too much else on offense, but we've had some big boosts on defense. Sanders is playing up to an 84, which is, I believe he was starting at a 74, so that's 10 points above. And it looks like it reordered the depth chart a little bit, but Harrison's up to an 82. We're playing up to an 82. I'm definitely, even though we're doing so well, most likely planning on trading some of our older players that are worth a lot more. But I will see depending on what I decide. But definitely could be Joey Bosa and Milano. And on the offensive side, most likely not anyone, but Dawkins is older at 31 and is still a 92 and worth a lot. But he's also a huge statement of our line, so I don't know how that would play, but I definitely would rather lose more games this year and be able to win multiple Super Bowls in the coming years than have a possibility at a Super Bowl this year. And we all know how the Bills are in the playoffs. So I'd rather have a solid team all the way around than try to limp into the playoffs with a team that, isn't spectacular at every single spot. Because there's a good chance we'll lose no matter what. But setting our scouting national focus, I believe I'm going to set it to wide receiver. We definitely need a wide receiver too. It looks like Shakir is going to develop into our wide receiver 1, but we have not had a ton of development from Coleman. We'll see. So yeah, I'm going to set it for that, and I definitely want to see how good Dom Hallman, if I'm saying that correct, is actually going to be. So we'll go ahead and set that. And at this point, I will see you week 13, I believe, or week 11 for our focus players. Well, I know where I said that I would see you at the focus players week, setting the focus players week. However, I decided that I would like to trade some of the aging talent, and I came across a pretty interesting trade that I believe is going to go through for some reason. But it looks like we're going to be sending Joey Bosa and Matt Milano, both over 30, or Joey Bosa exactly 30, and a third round pick from 2028 and a fourth from this coming year, 2026, for Devin Witherspoon, a stud 89 overall superstar corner. We're going to see if this goes through. Otherwise, it's just going to take a upgrade of a fourth to another third. But I believe this is, official, which is a crazy trade for us because we now have a new stud corner. That's going to be our number one. And we may now have a corner on the move. But we will see. So I know I said we were going to look at receiver in the draft. But the Bengals were offering me a first round pick for Dion Dawkins. And so I decided to give a little look-sees into what else I could get. Obviously, Jamar Chase was off the table. But T. Higgins is not a bad backup, and I believe we are going to get him just for Dion Dawkins, a second round pick next year, and a fourth. We may have to change the fourth into a third, but I think this is actually a pretty good trade for us since he will basically be our number one or tied for number one receiver, and a very productive one. So I'm going to go ahead and submit this, and it is official. We are trading Dion Dawkins to the Bengals with a second and a fourth, 2027 second and a 2028 fourth for T. Higgins to be our new star receiver. That was a very interesting trade, and let me know if you think the Bengals would do that in real life. Dion Dawkins is 31, very good, but he is 31. And now linemen play longer than receivers, but T. Higgins is only 26. There's definitely a question if they would do that in real life. All right, another interesting trade. Not sure what you guys will think about this, but we're gonna trade Terrion Johnson, Shaq Thomas, and Dawson Knox, and a second and some extra picks for Sam Laporta and a pick next year. Our second round pick is this year. We will not have that many picks unless I can trade some other guys for picks. But it probably will not be during this mid-season. But we're going to see if this goes through. No. So we just have to, I thought that was going to go through. We have to just move this to, it's probably going to have to be we have our 6 and 20. It's probably going to have to be the 5th, and then maybe we can get a 5th back or a 6th back next year. It's just going to have to be the 5th. So it's going to be a 6th next year and a 5th next year. And that's going to be the trade. A Sam Laporta is now a Buffalo Bill. And we also get a 3rd round pick next year. Let me know what you guys think about that trade. I think Sam Laporta is a stud, but I can understand if you feel it wasn't totally necessary. But definitely is an upgrade to our team. So after the mid-season trades that we have made, This is the new starting lineup. We net offensive line, not so great. I will admit that. Um, but it's a work in progress. But Sam Laporta, new stud tight end. D Higgins, new stud wide receiver 1. Shakir will be wide receiver 2. And I will actually move Coleman up to wide receiver 3. And then Palmer will be 4. Um, and then obviously still Josh Allen and James Cook. And then defense, definitely some holes also. But also some young rookies getting some time to play. We got Bishop and Rapp at the as safeties. Definitely need some upgrades on linebacker. Definitely need that. But this gave time for Jackson to play. Definitely. Oh, he might have alopecia. I'm not sure because it doesn't look like he has eyebrows. That's interesting. I did not know that. But yes, and then Ed Oliver and Sanders still, and then Rousseau on the left edge, and then we have stud Devin Witherspoon as our new corner 1, and then Benford and Hairston as our third. Overall, a lot better. This is how specialists set up. We'll have Coleman in the slot, and then Hairston in the slot for cornerback, and then everything else is what you would expect. But to me, I definitely, this looks good. This definitely a step up, and definitely got younger on the talent side. Week 13, focus players. I am not exactly sure on who, obviously, the best players in the class is. Holman is a top 5. And I'm not going to be looking at any more receivers right now because we're probably going to know a lot of these, like where they're going to be by the end of it. So I'm not going to look there. I'm planning not on looking on tight end, but there are a few linemen that I want to look at. We have either left tackle Revernon. I'm probably gonna butcher the names. But he has A awareness, which is always a good thing. But we don't know much else. Other than A to C pass block. This is showing me everything, so that's why. But he looks like there could be something there, but he has A pass block finesse and pass block power, which is what I was looking at. And he has A awareness. There could be something there. Kind of like to look at him. Martinez, he has A awareness too. Still not great physicals, and he just has A, or we just know that he has A pass block finesse, so we kind of know less about him than the other guys. Silverman interests me, not sure why, but he does have better athletics. And then he has A awareness, A impact blocking, and A block or A run blocking finesse. And then only C pass block though, which obviously is nerve-wracking. But he could be interesting. And then I have a right tackle here. He's supposed to be undrafted. Kind of mid physicals ratings, and he just had A, awareness, and B, pass block. We don't really know much about any of the linemen, and they're going to be the ones I focus on. I did add a Mike and two will linebackers, but we're going to focus on the lineman, and I think I'm just going to do the two left tackles and the center for our focus players. All right, the end of the regular season is here, and we went 13-4, which is honestly a possible record for the real Buffalo Bills. The Patriots only went 9-8 and missed the playoffs. That's interesting. They may already have 2 more wins than that in real life. And the Cincinnati Bengals went 12-5. That's interesting too. And the Chiefs 13-4. Definitely some interesting records. And the Colts 5-12. The Raiders 7-10. Wow. Good year for a lot of teams. So yeah, but we got the first round bye. Probably won't in real life, but in this world we did. And then we got the Chiefs, number 2, Patriots, Pittsburgh, number 3, Houston 4, Cincinnati 5, Baltimore 6, and then the Chargers at 7. So yeah, and we'll take a look at mock draft 3 as of right now. We have the Dolphins at number 1. What was their record? 3-14. Okay. And their choice would be obviously be Holman. Not exactly sure which way that's said. And then Dallas at 2, and then Panthers, Colts, and Cardinals. And this is how the rest of the top 32 will turn out. Anything too interesting? Not exactly. Kind of see everybody you would expect. Right now, we're expected to lose the Super Bowl. Wonderful. Here are the season stats. We had Josh Allen had almost 3,900 yards, 36 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. Very good year. James Cook on 269 attempts. Nice. Had 1,303 yards and 4.8 yards per carry. Nice. And 12 touchdowns. And then receiving, T. Higgins, very good year. Part of it was on Cincy, and then part was here. 1,100 yards, 1,128 yards, and 10 touchdowns. Shakir with 1,015 and 7 touchdowns. Palmer with 893 and 7 touchdowns. Coleman wasn't as getting used as much as I would like. Only 575 and 5 touchdowns. Laporta 509 and 8 touchdowns, and Kincaid 333 and 1 touchdown. Pretty good overall year. When it comes to defense, though, well, Witherspoon up at the top for tackles, but I will say we had some impressive numbers when it comes to, well, we'll look at TFLs first, but sacks. For TFLs, we have Ed Oliver with 18, and then you'll see the big number of sacks. 16 sacks for Ed Oliver from D tackle. That's pretty crazy. And but we also had 13 tackles for loss for Greg Rousseau, and 11.5 sacks. And then our D tackles were cooking. 11 tackles for loss for Sanders and 11 sacks. Pretty damn good. And then when it comes to other sacks, we also had Jackson on his he started 9 games. I'm not sure. I said 17, but I'm pretty sure, like, as a full-time starter, it was around 9 games. He started it starting the 9th week of the season. And he accrued 6 sacks and 3 tackles for loss, so I don't think that's that bad. But yeah, overall, a really good season overall with sacks, and now we'll see if we can win in the divisional. Of course, we have the first round bye. I'll show you the playoff picture, which is right here. We have us with the first round bye, and Tampa with the first round bye. Then it's the Kansas City and the Chargers playing, Steelers, Baltimore, and then Texans, Bengals. And then on the other side, we have San Francisco and Seattle, and then Green Bay and the LA Rams, and then we have the Eagles and Vikings. Definitely some interesting teams in there, but then other than that, most of the other teams you kind of expect to see in this year's playoff. So yeah, let's get into the divisional. All right, this is the playoff bracket after the wild card round. The Chiefs lost. They lost by 3 points. The Chargers won. Baltimore blew out the Steelers. And another 3-point game with the Bengals winning over the Texans. And then on the other side, we have San Francisco beating only by 3 also. A lot of 3-point games. Beating Seattle by 3 points. Green Bay beating the Los Angeles Rams by 3 points. And then a blowout by the Eagles over the Vikings. We will be playing the Chargers. And then the Bengals and Ravens will be playing. The Tampa Bay and Eagles will be playing. And then San Francisco and Green Bay will be playing. Let's get into the divisional round. We'll just be simming the divisional round. If we make it to the Super Bowl this year, I will probably be jumping in. But before that, I'll leave it up to the game. And the team. This is still a very good team, and we definitely have a shot. But the Bills. They usually like to win the divisional, but end up getting to the conference championship and losing. At least we don't have the Chiefs in our way. So let's get into the next week and see if we can keep on this roll. And we do not. We lose 21-13. Well, guess we're moving on to the off season. We'll go ahead and advance to the Super Bowl and see who's playing in that. It is going to be Green Bay and the Ravens. That's an interesting Super Bowl. And let's go ahead and see who comes out on top. Let's advance to the next week. And it is the Ravens, I believe. And we'll also go ahead and see the whole season recap and see who won awards and if we ended up having any players win any awards. We have Roquan Smith winning Super Bowl MVP. And then we have the NFL MVP Joe Burrow. Kyle Shanahan of the 49ers won Coach of the Year. Offensive Player of the Year went to Rashid Rice. And then Defensive Player of the Year went to Ed Oliver. That is surprising. You don't see many DTs win it. And then Offensive Rookie of the Year went to the Ashton Genty. And then I will not embarrass myself by saying that name, and we will move on. But Titans had the Defensive Rookie of the Year. All right, players ready to negotiate contracts. I meant to look at this earlier and totally forgot. Luckily, Devin Witherspoon's just his 5th-year option. We're gonna accept that. I am not sure how much a 5th-year option would be on Dalton Kincaid. I believe we're gonna go ahead and leave that off and negotiate with him his contract next year. AJ Empsa. Sorry, I'm gonna butcher names. I believe we will look elsewhere. Same with Elijah Moore. It does not look like we have many big names in here that we're totally looking to hang on to, actually. And I'm actually going to say that we're good on everybody. So we're just going to pick up the 5th-year option on Devin Witherspoon, and we're going to pass on Dalton Kincaid's 5th-year option and just negotiate with him separately. Yeah, so that'll be it for re-signing players, and we will get on to free agency week 1 and see who is available. Hopefully there's some big names that we could sign, but I also don't know. We have 65.9 for cap. And right off the bat, I'm not. Tyler Moton would only be a very short signing. We don't really totally need D tackle. We have yeah, we're not totally in need of D tackle. Yeah, we're not in need. I will go ahead and look over free agency and see if there's anybody I think we need, and then bring you guys back in with any of the people I feel like decide to put contracts out on. Alright, so there wasn't too many free agents that I was particularly interested in and felt that would actually make an impact to our team at the moment. I did decide to go into some of the older offensive linemen, but just 1 year's deals. We're gonna go ahead and offer Taylor Moton on a very team-friendly 1 year deal. We're just out in front. We'll see if he likes it, and come back to that. Same, no offers for Joel Bufonio. I mean, for 1 year, he's better than what we got. And it definitely could help us win a Super Bowl like next year. Um, just offering on Najee Harris. He had no offers. We could use a better second running back. Um, yeah, nothing in particular. Then I'll go to my targeted signings. We have some young players that I could think could just make an impact. Ronnie Hickman. We are actually going after him. He's only 24, so at a 24, 79 overall, he's like a very good old rookie at that point. So I think that's, obviously in Madden, at least, especially, is a very good signing for us. And I think the deal I have him to is it's a 6 years deal, so we'll have him until he's 30. Even if he's just a backup, but he's a great backup. And same with Flott. If you watch my last video, you'll recognize him. Made a key play. But yeah, same with him. Just a very team-friendly deal. And we'll see if these guys want to sign. Go ahead and hit eval offers. Oh boy. Here we. I'm hitting the wrong button. All right. So it looks like the Jets are now getting, and Raiders are getting in Taylor Moton. May go ahead and up that contract. Nothing for Joe Patonio, nothing for Najee Harris, and nothing for Flott. And Ronnie Hickman did sign with us, so I will bring you back when we're ready to eval offers again. All right, I fixed Taylor Moton's offer, staying with 1 year deal. I don't want to sign him for more than one, just because I did end up giving him a decent chunk of money, and I don't want that on our books for 2 years. If he signs, he signs. If he doesn't, I'm willing to give him a little bit more money even, because, him, for whatever, crazy amount of money we end up paying him for 1 year, it's not really a big deal. And it's better than what we have. But yeah, I'll go ahead and eval again. And if I could hit the right button instead of the help button every time, it would be great. So he is signed, and he did not sign with us. I thought he did, but he did not sign with us. He's going somewhere else. He is going to the Jets. Jets over us. Whoa, they gave him $50 million a year with a 25.1 million salary and a 23.2. That wasn't even near what I was giving, and they gave him a 2-year deal. That's crazy. That just seems outrageous. He's 32. I get he's an 87 overall, but that's wow. All right. Yeah. So I'll go ahead and probably give Joe Batonio a 1-year deal with a little bit more money, and then Najee Harris can sign if he wants. I really could care less. But yeah. So that's going to be pretty much it for free agency. I'll let you know if Joe Batonio signs. But I'll see you in um, the second scouting players part. All right, just wanted to bring you guys back in because I picked up a few extra guys, but mostly just for depth. But we ended up signing Joe Potonio. Um, I originally had um, Najee Harris. Um, we picked up Rashad White instead, younger, only one overall difference. Picked up Patrick Ricard just as a fullback, not really a big deal. Um, Ardarius Washington, backup, you know, here and there player. But Hickman definitely would see time over him. Star Dev and 79 overall at 24. Definitely much better than normal Dev 80 overall at 26. Um, and then Kwiti Payne. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. You guys know I butcher names. Um, I'm not going to get better, but I'll do my best and make a fool out of myself. But, you know, that's what life is. And then Cordell Falat, you guys heard me talk about him earlier. But yeah, great. Star Dev, 79, 25 years old. Definitely some time for development and definitely can be, a decent option at corner. But we are pretty set at corner. But, you know, rotational player, get in there when we need him, and um, he'll be fine. But yeah, oh, private workouts. I thought there was one more weekend, but I didn't realize we were already at free agent recap. Yeah, so I will get back to you with who we are gonna set as our private workout players. All right, just before we go over private workouts, I kind of wanted to go show you guys the mock draft. Um, Dom is going to go number 1. We're not going to be in position for him, but you'll see in a little bit. There's something else. Um, so particularly, I'm not crazy about, or at least I don't have anybody on the board that I'm crazy about that's going on this mock draft. The Dolphins pick at 1, Cowboys pick at 2, expected to go Martinez. I think we did talk about him at one point, but we didn't look at him, scout him, because we were never going to be in a position for him. But yeah, then the Colts pick, expect to go D tackle, Cardinals expect to go halfback. Don't know about that. Did not look at him. Giants are the first QB off the board. Not totally sure how the QBs are. Didn't even take a look. We're pretty much locked up for QB, obviously. 6 years, $330 million locked up. Washington going DT. A lot of DTs in this draft, definitely would say. I do think I probably have some of these guys on my board. I know Frazier for sure. Not particularly. I have a locked up round 1 pick that does not go in round 1. We'll get to that. So yeah, a few DTs, actually 5 DTs in a row. And then yeah, some cornerbacks. Yeah, I'll just show you the rest of how the lineup is. Browns pick at 16 and 18. We pick at, actually not even sure, we pick at 27. This is one of the guys we looked at. We will not be going him. 6'7", 310, pretty massive dude, but round 3 to 4, definitely not happening. I'm not picking him with our first round pick. there's a chance we may trade out of the first round. But yeah, so I just wanted to go over that, and then we'll go into the prospects and pick who we're going to have as our private workouts. I'm not sure if I have lockdown 3. I'll probably just go with some of the linemen, because I really do want to focus on the line in the draft. But I also have a player that we need to get, even though we don't need that position technically. And that player is, if it comes up correctly, is Locker. 185, 5'11", projected round 1 to 2, but is a top 5 talent from Michigan State. And I haven't particularly saw, but I know the big thing is he has elite speed. He did not participate in the combine or the pro day, which is interesting. I did not look at that. I looked at the elite speed and said, yes, that's someone we have to draft. And top 5, obviously. Great acceleration. Most likely, from what we know, will probably have high awareness. And a lot of these A to Bs will probably be A's. Because he's a top 5 talent, and some of the stuff we already know is not like particularly great, but he obviously is a deep threat with his elite speed and a deep route running. And yeah, I think you know, a top 5 talent outside of the first round, I don't think I can pass on that. Even though we're solid at wide receiver, he can be a great third. Or we could trade someone. We'll figure something out. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna choose some of the offensive linemen and try to get a better idea. I'm not gonna choose Ferguson. He's a potential undrafted, but I'm gonna draft him with whatever last pick we have, because for some reason I'm enamored with him. For some reason, I did not pronounce that correctly, but we move on. You get what I'm saying. But yeah, so I'm just gonna pick some of these offensive linemen that I have. I'll go by position. But yeah, I don't have a particular people that I want to look at. But I mean, we're probably gonna, depending on how I feel. I don't know where Locker is going to go 100%. Obviously, he's not projected to be in the first round, but he could definitely go high round 2, and so I don't want to miss out on him. So we might not, if we do trade back, we might not trade back much. I can't remember our picks because we did a lot of trading, and I'm pretty sure we traded away our pick 2, but I'm not sure if we have a third round pick. We traded a lot of picks away. I know we have our first round, and that's about it. But so I have to get Locker with whatever, either that first round pick or with capital that I get from a trade back. So I'm not sure who we're going to go. So I'll probably go for some of these later round guys and get them fully scouted and see where their talent actually is. So I will go ahead and do that. And I'll see you guys in the draft. All right. NFL draft time. Here we go. Dolphins at number 1. We already know who they're going to go for. Yeah, we will not be trading up for him. And I'm not particularly scared of the other receiver going before our pick. So I'm just going to go ahead and see how the draft board plays out and go ahead and skip to our pick. Um, yeah, I mean, we pretty much knew most of these. And the only thing we're worried about is locker. Um, and I think the best thing is probably to trade back um, some and at least get something. But I'm just not sure how much. If we look at the top players, we honestly don't see him for a while. He's number 50, but he's around 1 to 2. So I'm I'm just worried. Like, I don't want to lose out on him. Um, but I would like to get a little bit more capital back, even if it's like another third round pick. Um, so I'm wondering if we can trade to the top of the second round. They are willing to give us pick 50. That is a little farther than I would like to trade. Here's pick 36. That's not terrible. That would have been, that's first next year, second next year, and fifth. We could always make multiple trades. This is pick 41, and we would pick a third round next year. It's definitely interesting. I'm definitely interested in the first one we looked at. Nobody's trading like multiple second rounds, or multiple first rounds, obviously, where we would like, for sure want to go for that trade. I'm definitely interested in the Cardinals because I think that's like a fair spot where we would pick, and that may be the one we just go with. Other than that, we don't really see. 41 scares me, but it's definitely a better haul of picks. But some of these are this year, and we could use another pick this year. And I think I'm just going to go with the Cardinals and take a few extra picks, even if they don't turn into anything special. Picking up a fourth round pick, if we do this trade, we will have a second round pick. But we don't normally have. We have a third round pick, and we have, I know, set a seventh or 2/7. I think we have a third round and 2/7. I'm not sure if we have a fifth round pick. I just looked, and apparently I already forgot. Great memory. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and accept this offer, and at 36, we're gonna take Blocker, and I'm gonna go ahead and just skip to that pick, and let's make sure we don't pick, and he didn't go. Nope. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and pick that wide receiver Locker. I doubt he went. We probably could move back more with how far he's down, but I just don't feel comfortable because Madden can be more. Yeah, they're definitely have made it more unpredictable in recent years, but the first round usually goes like the mock draft. But after that, with no knowledge, you really never know. And this guy's the top 5 talent, and I definitely think he could be. It does say the Titans, Browns, and Patriots are his people, and they don't pick until later, but I'm still not willing to take the risk on a top 5 talent, getting him, early round 2. Yeah, it's still a great overall pick, and a great deal at that pick. But yeah, we'll go ahead and see. We're obviously hyped. He is number 5. Speed, speed, speed. Looks the ball into his hand. Looks the ball into his hand. Looks the ball into his hand. That's an interesting choice of words. Maybe my mind just can't wrap around it, but looks the ball, obviously, like, when he looks, the ball just appears in his hands. I'm not gonna just keep looking at that because I'll be here all night. Unbothered by defenders when catching passes. Yep, that's what you want in a deep ball or deep threat. And yeah, he looks like he could be a great player for us. Yeah, let's move on to the next pick. I am not planning. I don't have any particular other persons that I want, and we don't have the capital to be moving around the board. We just need to take someone at the picks we have. Because yeah, we don't have anybody to trade. We want to keep everybody we have on our team, and we need to gain back capital, if anything. So yeah, I'm just going to be skipping back to the next user pick, and we'll see who's on the board. So we'll go ahead and see who's here. See who's under my favorites, and if there's anybody that's truly worth the thing. We do have a round 2 to 3 D tackle. Other than that, we do not know much. I'm actually surprised. We did have a few people that I thought, but they must have went. Yeah, the only person on our board is the undrafted guy. Wow, that is surprising, because I had a lot of players that weren't expected to go until round 3 and 4, and they have already gone. I did not expect that. All right, well, I will let you know who we're gonna pick in this draft. I'm gonna go ahead and search through the board and find a player that I like. All right, so there's an offensive lineman that I want to take a chance on, but I don't think we need to do it with this third round pick. We have a pick at the top of the 4th round that I think he's a day 3 prospect, so I think we'll be fine. So I think I'm going to go ahead and trade this pick away. And I like this Vikings offer. They'll give us a 3rd next year, a 5th next year, a 7th this year, which doesn't matter, and another 7th next year. I think that's good round of capital for this pick, and will help us recuperate some of the picks we have traded away for some of the good players we got at the midseason mark. So I'm going to go ahead and accept this, and then we will take the lineman with it's round 4, pick 4 right now. Say left tackle, I believe. Yep. Nate Graham. I think he's a pretty big dude. But he has very good attributes, or I guess physicals, but his attributes aren't totally there. B awareness is decent, but like F block or F pass block power, that's pretty terrible. B run back's not that bad, but he's not a pass blocker. So I don't know. He could be good. He could not be good, but his physicals are pretty pretty decent. Um, Pretty elite actually. So we're gonna take a chance on him, and see how he is. It's a fourth round pick. It's not that big of a deal. And maybe he'll be good. He was not. All right. That's on me. I thought he was actually better than that. I thought he would at least um around where we picked him in true talent, but 218 is crazy. He's basically almost undrafted, which is crazy. I thought he was actually better, but he played college basketball for 2 years. He maybe should have stuck with basketball, unless he was. If he was worse at basketball than football, boy, woo. High ceiling as a run blocker, we kind of did know that. Gets caught blocking air at times. Oh, that's a great thing. Wow. How bad do you have to be to get caught blocking air at times? That is an interesting scouting point. Alrighty then. Um, yeah, let's move on from that. Um, all right, next pick. Um, Maybe I should just let the CPU do it because boy am I having a great day picking. At least our first pick was a stud. All right. Let's see what we got here. Bunch of undrafted players. We do have this wide receiver. We do not need another wide receiver. Boy, it's the 5th round and he's a 3 to 4 talent. Oh boy, he's a slot receiver. Maybe we could trade some of our other receivers. Why would I take another receiver? But he's just right here and he's 3 and 4. I don't have many other players that I like. I think the best bet is just to keep trading away our picks and recruit some of what we have traded away, because we do not have enough picks. And I'm not particularly enamored by anybody in this draft. So I'm trying to see if I can get a 4th round pick, but it doesn't look like it. So I'll just pick who's giving the best deal of the day. I don't mind the Patriots one and the Lions. Oh, these are. Oh, they want to give us that pick this year. I think we will just take the Patriots picks. They weren't particularly great this year. Maybe they won't particularly be great next year. And with us being at the top of the division every year, hopefully they'll just stay bad. And what pick are we at? We're at the 7th. We have 2 picks for the 7th round. I do want to, if he's still there, take that offensive lineman that was supposed to be undrafted. He may be a better player than the guy we just picked. He was not. Boy, am I hitting on these players. Former high school power forward. Won't be overwhelmed by power. Football IQ is still improving. Doesn't seem like a bad scouting point, but he's not that good of a player either. I really felt like these guys looked a lot better on paper than they actually are. And I am going to let the CPU finish the draft. So we picked a total of 3 players and then just traded back. I mean, the team was set other than offensive line, and I was trying to get some help, but obviously I did a poor job of finding good good players. I thought there was a bunch of I thought the few that I did have, well, there was more in the beginning of the draft that I thought, but I didn't want to trade up picks because we had already traded away too much, too many picks, too many, and had made too many trades at the midseason mark. So let's go ahead and look at the draft recap. We know the receiver is going to be a stud, and the 2 offensive linemen are going to be absolutely terrible. So let's hope for the receiver. Let's hope for above an 80. That would be awesome. He's a 78. Not terrible. I was hoping for more. He does have 98 speed. And he has normal dev. I didn't look at that earlier. I totally forgot. I forgot that you could look at that. Oh my gosh, he has normal dev. That sucks. Oh, wow, this draft sucked. This draft sucked for us. Oh, but he looks amazing. 98 speed, 93 acceleration, 82 catching, 81 catching traffic, 71 short route running. Definitely a deep threat. Only 66 medium route running, but 83 deep route running. Spectacular catch 83, release 85, 90 agility, 84 jumping. Yeah, I mean, he's great, but normal dev really sucks. 98 speed though. He is definitely a deep threat, but wow, we had a draft. We had a draft of duds. Only 66 for Graham and 65 hidden dev. Ooh, can we develop a 65 overall? No, we cannot. Great backups. Let's look at the rest of the draft and see how much I screwed up. But we definitely got a lot of good players for the picks we traded away. Wow, he was an 82. Wow, and he had 96 speed. I mean, there was no way we were ever getting one. We would have had no picks, and he probably does have like Superstar X Factor or something. I didn't look at his carries to see if he was generational, but yeah, that's what I thought. We were never gonna be in a position to draft him, but I knew he was gonna be great. But yeah, I kind of did. We get the no, we had then there was a CB, Gabe Tate. Interesting name, 81 overall. Right tackle, we could have used that at 24. Is that the pick I traded away? No. Who did we trade with? At a 80, and then we had there's gonna be a oh wait. There's possibly going to be a undrafted free agent, probably kicker. That's a 78, I'm betting. Unless it just said that we had the 5th best player because we were tied with a bunch of players. But I'm betting there's a free agent. Oh, damn. He looks like he could be better. He only has 89 speed. I really do like the guy we got with 98 speed, but yeah, he has hidden dev. Definitely interesting. Would you rather have him? I am not 100% sure. And then tight end Lowry Boy, my name saying is great. The 78, a lot of 78s. We didn't have the picks, and I didn't find the players. Um, Honestly, we did have the draft set up more for um, receiver and corner and stuff, and we ended up trading for a lot of these, and so I didn't totally look at some of these other players, and I needed to definitely do a deeper dive on some of these players. There was definitely some players we missed out on, but I was trying to focus on offensive line, and there were some offensive linemen, but not as many as you think, really. Left guard at 28 was decent. And but we were always taking the receiver. And yeah, he was good. And then we got a right guard. That would have been a decent pickup late in the round. Didn't see him though. Yeah, these guys didn't stick out. You usually expect the better players to stick out, but there was not a ton. Surprisingly, like some of these drafts you see, and you do in Madden, there are some high offensive linemen, and not in this draft so much. But yeah, we move on, and there's always next year's draft, and the team's still awesome no matter what. And yeah, we'll go ahead and advance this week and look at the lineup. Not a lot changed, but I thought the receiver was, and this is interesting, a trade offer for Coleman. We could definitely be in the mood to trade a receiver with trying to get the younger receiver some snaps. Nothing particularly that I find, but I'll definitely look into it more as the season progresses. And I also did notice while I was going over the roster, that Josh Allen regressed. Madden, lovely. Tell me next year Josh Allen's regressing. Down to a 97. Still great, but annoys me. But yeah, we have a team. We have a really good team already. Obviously the Bills weren't in total need of a rebuild. There was just some resets that needed to happen at certain positions. But obviously I wanted to do this one because the Bills are my favorite team. And there'll be definitely many more harder teams to rebuild that comes. Our offensive line is terrible. We'll definitely have to sign some free agents, but I'm gonna go over the roster and move some stuff around and sign some free agents, and then we'll get into preseason of season number 2 and get this team going, and get into the prospects of next year's draft and figure out what we need. Alright, season 2 is here. I'm just going to show you a quick look at the lineup right now, but I am going to make some free agent signings, possibly a trade. Our line, it's not great, and we obviously are lacking there a lot, so we need to maybe look into a trade for that. But this is just the starting lineup. I just wanted to give you guys a quick look after the draft. Obviously, we didn't draft anybody too crazy, but we do have Locker down here, and I do want him to get into more of a starting role. So I'm definitely going to try to get him some more playing time. But this is the lineup as of now, and I'll let you know if I make any trades. Alright, I didn't expect this deal to go through right away, but obviously you guys heard me say that, yeah, we need help on the offensive line, and we also needed to make room in the wide receiver room for Locker. And so that's what I did, and the Rams were very interested in both Palmer and Coleman. Well, mostly Coleman, but Palmer also was in the deal. And we got Dotson for Palmer, Coleman, a 4th-round pick this year, and a 5th-round pick this year. But that's a huge upgrade to right guard, and definitely makes our offensive line a lot better. Alright, just some quick updates before we get into season 2. This is the adjusted depth chart after the new signing or new trade for Dotson. We're also gonna get Ferguson in there and see how he can do. I know he's a 65 overall. It's pretty bad. And then our lowest other overall is at center. Also still very young, so hopefully there's some development there. But we'll also have the first year with Petonio. Brown is moving to left tackle so that Ferguson could get in at right tackle. Because apparently Ferguson is even worse at left tackle, if that's believable. And then full year of Laporta, and first full year of Higgins. With the wide receiver trade, with the trading Coleman, we now open up playing time for Locker, and then obviously Shakir number 2, and then Patrick Ricard, and then obviously you guys know Josh Allen and James Cook, but we also have Rashad White in here for backup. And then on defense, obviously Rousseau, Sanders, same. Oliver, obviously same. This will be Jackson's first full year of starting. He started about half of last year. Witherspoon's full year on this team. And then we got Benford as corner 2, Hairston as corner 3, and then Flott as corner 4, and first full year, obviously, on the team. And then Rapp and Hickman back at safety, or strong safety and free safety, and then Bernard. And I do see we have I will sign some depth at linebacker because we're missing a full starting will linebacker. So I will do that before the season starts, but it won't be anybody too good. We also switched our playbooks to West Coast spread for the offensive scheme and Cincinnati. We're going to go to a more of a throwing defense, utilize Josh Allen and the high-end receivers we have. Obviously, it will put more of a backseat on James Cook, but, he'll still be good in the touches he gets. And then Brian Dayball still staying in the base 4-3, which we were. And then Brian Dayball's the New York Giants playbook. I've had good luck with that on defense, especially for getting sacks. Um, from edge rushers more than interior, so we may see a drop off in um, Ed Oliver's and Sanders' production, but definitely a big increase on the edge rushers getting time or sacks. So that's where we're heading for that. But yes, definitely want to use Rousseau more and definitely get Jackson. The more sacks he gets, the better he will get. Um, and Ed Oliver and Sanders will still produce. And then we'll just go over the scouts and the class a bit. This is the first look at the class. Obviously, we don't know anything. But we have a left tackle, QB, edge, a D tackle, and another quarterback as our top 5 players. We're not going to be in the range for any of them, but we could definitely look at anything on the offensive line or edge, even D tackle. Always need help there. We'll probably also be in the market for for linebackers, safeties possibly, but we have young guys there. But we have young guys everywhere, so we're just kind of in the market for what is available to us when we pick, because we obviously don't have a ton of capital unless we decide to trade someone bigger. And other than money most likely being a problem, we're not gonna trade away one of our better guys to get a maybe, unless we know it's for sure, top 5. They're most likely not going to be better than T. Higgins or Shakir. So depending on where we're at, we'll make the best choice available. But for our scouts now, we not the screen I wanted. For our national, I don't know why it's not showing up over under the national region. I've seen that a few times now, where it hasn't shown up the little binoculars. But it's defensive tackle, which is one of the strengths, and then offensive tackle, which is just a not a strength but not a weakness. And then for the West region, we are going offensive tackle, and then it does say linebacker is a weakness, but I do want to get someone looking at some linebackers, and for the scouts we needed, they didn't have a scout for anything else, because I did purchase the upgrade, head coach upgrade, so that we could have 3 tier 3 scouts. No, 5 tier 3 scouts. So all of our scouts are tier 3, and we also have, for the central region, we have wide receiver and safety. The safety obviously is not a strength of the class, but it's also not a weakness, or at least for the central area. And then for the Northeast, we have running back and offensive tackle, both strengths. And then for the Southeast, we have edge rusher and D tackle, both strengths also as well. We'll most likely hone in on at week 3 on probably edge rusher for the Southeast, offensive tackle for the Northeast, wide receiver because it's the only one we technically get an upgrade on, but I may go with safety because it's more of a need. And then for the West, we'll probably go with linebacker. We also may end up in this now probably gonna just stick offensive tackle or linebacker here, and then offensive tackle for the national one at week 8. But I will bring you back for that one. For week 3, I'll just set them and bring you guys back at the mid-season mark. So I'll see you then. Well, gonna let you know, this is not where I thought we would be. 2-5. 87 overall. 2-5. I mean, it's not much better than, or it's not much worse than the Chiefs. And they're technically, apparently, better than us, even though they're exactly the same numbers. But they're only 3-4. So I have no idea what's going on, but we lost to the Jets. So if the Jets made that big of a turnaround in 1 year, good for them. Alright, so we may have a top pick in the draft now. So, those people that I said at top 5 that weren't going to be in our position, or that I thought we weren't going to be in a position for them, we may be. So we'll choose our national focus, which I did speak on, is going to be offensive tackle. I don't know why we're dealing with what we're dealing with at 2-5. It's very strange, and when you look at the numbers, we're not scoring like a ton of points, but we're also only letting up. We're still letting up less points. And if you look at the Chiefs, they're letting up 3 more points on average than they are getting. So, I mean, we technically have a better average. Our defense seems phenomenal, but we're not scoring enough, and seems crazy with the team we have. So I don't know, but I will see you at week 13 for another check-in and to set our focus players. Alright, never mind, we're back. 6-5, went on a bit of win streak, 4 straight wins, and it's time to set our focus players. And we'll also look at the DB breakout, which I'm not sure who it's going to be. Oh, that's our coordinator. I was like, who? Our Darius Washington. That's the backup strong safety, I believe. Strong safety, but I may be getting them mixed up. A tackle for loss / sack. Oh, or a forced fumble. It's possible, but since he doesn't play that much, it might not be, but it's better than what we could get, so I'll do that. I doubt he will end up getting it, but I'll check in the next week. If I don't bring you guys back in, he didn't do it. But we'll also set our um, focus players. Give me a minute to figure out exactly who they are going to be, and I'll bring you back. So I know this is going to be boring, um, but it is a need. Pretty big need. Um, oh, yes. Top 5 talent. This guard is probably going to go tackle is going to go number 1 overall. I don't think we're going to be in a position, even though I would love to get him. But yeah, top 5 talent at guard. This QB could also be interesting. We obviously don't know how good he is, but he is only 20. But we know nothing about him other than some A's down here on medium throw and deep throw. But he could be interesting. But we're obviously not in the market for a QB. But at 20 years old, that's pretty interesting. But yeah, so our boring picks are just going to be the top 3 centers. I want to know if any of these guys are good. They have some all right. This guy looks like he could be all right. But I definitely want to know if they're at all worth it. And we definitely need a center. Obviously, maybe not with our first pick, but maybe we trade back or something. It all obviously depends on where our pick is and how valuable it is. But we definitely need a center because 69 or 68 overall is not going to cut it. And preferably star dev, at least on the offensive line. We could trade for someone, and that could still happen. But I have nobody like other than the centers particular that I want to right this minute look at as our focus, and we have no scouts searching the center position, obviously. So we're going to learn literally nothing else about these guys unless we do the focus scouting. So I'll use these on the focus scouting and we'll figure it out from there. And we have our 3 private workouts at the end of the free agency that we'll use on either other players or maybe the center, or who knows. We'll figure it out then. Alright, well, we made the wild card. It's not as good as I wanted it to be, but obviously we already had so many lost games that it was about as good as it could have been. In other bad news, Madden decided to reorder my damn depth chart instead of listening to the settings and not reordering it. So Locker did not get as much playing time as I wanted him to. And neither did Ferguson. We've had some injuries that have definitely put the team out. But yeah, I reordered specialists because it felt like it. And put Samuel in the slot. So some of our numbers are probably not going to look that good. It also looks like, surprisingly, not a lot of touchdowns were thrown this year. Only 29, and then even Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes only had 36. I'm not sure if that led the league, but I did not realize down at the bottom that Westbrook on Cincinnati had 2,002 yards. Who? on Cincinnati over. I know we have T. Higgins now, so obviously, but Jamar Chase. He had 2,000 yards. Really? All right. Well, we'll look at that. That's very interesting. Let's go over our stats. Josh Allen with good year in my opinion. 29 touchdowns to 8 picks. Very good. Um, almost 4,800 yards. Rushing, not too many carries for James Cook, and not great on the, like, you would expect maybe him to be a little bit better per carry. Above 4, obviously good, but you would probably like it higher for. But 11 touchdowns. Josh Allen had another 3 touchdowns on the ground. And then receiving, T. Higgins obviously led us, but only 5 touchdowns. That is not that many. And but the 113 receptions, that's a good amount. And then 84 receptions and just over 1,000 yards and another 5 touchdowns for Shakir. And then Samuel, I wanted obviously Locker playing more, but he didn't get enough time, so there goes Rookie of the Year or any hopes of anything for him. But even Samuel didn't do very well in the slot, or well, he wasn't even wide receiver. He was just in the slot. He only had 58 receptions for 750 yards and 4 touchdowns. Sam Laporta was good, 75 receptions, 701 yards and 4 touchdowns. Not bad for obviously what we're asking of him. It's obviously the 3 receivers and then it's him, so not bad for what he was getting a chance for. But 75 receptions is pretty good, you know. And then on defense, see how we were. We led in tackles by Bernard and then Witherspoon. 3 tackles for loss, 2 sacks for Witherspoon's, no pick, or not Witherspoon's, Bernard. For Witherspoon's, 2 tackles for loss, half a sack, and only 1 pick. Wow. Does not look like we had a lot of picks. And then, yeah, so our tackles for loss, we had 11 led from Ed Oliver, 10 from Rousseau, 7 from Payne, and then 4 from another Williams, Senior, Sanders, 3 from Bernard, and then a bunch from other guys. And then for sacks, we were led by Rousseau with 16. Not a bad year. 10.5 from Oliver, and then Payne. I wonder, he wasn't playing over Sanders Jackson when I checked, but I wonder if he was, or if Jackson got hurt for part of the season. Yes, he was hurt for a few games, and didn't play, it looks like. So he did not produce as much as I would have liked to see. Also, this was just a down year in general. So Payne had 5.5, Sanders had 5, and then Washington from free safety had 3, and then Jackson, yeah, and then a few from our linebackers. Not as good as I would have hoped. And then picks, yeah, we were led by 3 and only had a handful of them. Wow, that is not great. Not great. Definitely not the year we were hoping for from this team. This team is definitely much better than this, and we'll see how we handle in the playoffs. This literally could be a one and done. I mean, the Raiders are much worse overall, but they went 12-5. We're gonna go ahead and sim it. I'm not jumping in. I'm not jumping in for the second year until the Super Bowl. So if we make it to the Super Bowl, I'll jump in. But otherwise, we're gonna be heading to the off season. So here we go. Pray. This. I could see this being a one and done, and it's a one and done. It's a one and done. We lost by 4 points. What a year. What a year. We're gonna, well, at least we got extended. 90, our team is 90 overall, and we went 9-8 and lost in the wild card. What a year. What a year. This is the Buffalo Bills playing football. This is what I expect. Yep. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and sim to the off season and look at the recap. I'll catch you there, guys. There. All right. You had the Eagles and the Ravens in the Super Bowl, and the Ravens pulled out the win. Their fourth Super Bowl, and their fourth AFC Championship. So it went 4-for-4 for the AFC Championships they won. And Teddy Buchanan had the Super Bowl MVP. Most likely had a pick and probably a pick six. Most likely. We have for awards that are at least shown on this thing. We'll look at the player of the year, the rest of the rookies of the year, and for either NFC or AFC, depending on which one. Jalen Hurts for MVP. We had Ravens John Harbaugh wins. I will come back. I know I said that I was supposed to look at what Nick Westbrook I'm sorry. Nis Westbrook on the Bengals did. Because he won Offensive Player of the Year and had 2,000 yards as a receiver over Jamar Chase. And for Defensive Player of the Year, Josh Hines Allen. And for Rookie of the Year, we had Dom Coleman. Oh, that was the number one overall pick, if I'm not mistaken, for the Raiders. And the Commanders had Philip Roosevelt for D tackle. I will go look at the rest of the awards, or we cannot look at the rest of the awards. I forgot now that we are in the next season, so we will go ahead and look at. I know we didn't win any awards that I know of, but I will check for sure. We're looking for Cincinnati. So Joe Burrow did throw for 5,000 yards, but like I said, not a lot of touchdowns compared to 5,000 yards. But oh my gosh, yeah, 2,000 yards, and Jamar Chase had not even 900. Life is strange. He is a 78 overall minus the morale. Yeah. All right. Oh, and didn't even have Stardev before this. He was a normal dev, 78 overall, and had 2,000 yards and 18 touchdowns. Alrighty. Yep. That happens. Alright, well, I'll see you guys in the off season. Alright, players ready to negotiate. Sam Laporta, I will say I did have to move some money around. We're in a tough spot. We're probably gonna have to make some decisions next year on some players to trade. I know we did just acquire him, but T. Higgins could be on the move. His contract, we have 1 year left, I believe. I'm not 100% sure, but I know we will be at there'll be no penalty for trading him. Yeah, we may have to make that hard decision. We'll see, but I would like to keep Sam Laporta and Kevin Dotson. Those are the two that I'm after. Everybody else we're gonna have to just let walk. A lot of these guys are just free agents that we picked up, and Samuel and stuff. But these are gonna be the guys we try to get. And then otherwise, yeah, everybody else is gonna have to just walk. We don't have the money for it, and I expected a much better year than we got, and it could be hard to keep Kevin Dotson with him having zero interest in us. And there's nothing that I can do to change it. We don't have a championship. Would have been nice if we won a Super Bowl. Yeah, we're nowhere close to Louisiana, and we're heck of a lot farther away from their weather. Don't know if you guys are familiar with Buffalo or ever been there, but it's cold and there's a ton of snow. But yeah, so we're probably gonna have to give him a low risk deal. I don't know if I'm good with 4 years. He is 30, and he will start regressing. Offensive line is a little bit less of a regression in Madden, obviously, than some of the other players we see after 30 in Madden. Not as much in real life, but in Madden at least. Obviously, players do regress after 30 in real life, but in Madden, it's like they hit a wall. So yeah, I'm not sure about 4 years, but maybe if I can give him this deal, it's a lot to pay a guard, but he is a big part of our offensive line. I'm not sure. I'm actually gonna try the low risk deal first, and then if he doesn't sign, we'll come back next week and see what we can do. Nope. It was better to offer him the low risk deal because that's perfect. And then we'll go for Sam Laporta. I do really want him back. He's a 90 overall superstar, 26-year-old, and he definitely has more interest. I still offer him the low risk, and I am good with 6 years for him. He's 26. He's going to be a 99. And possibly could think about changing playbooks to get him more involved, but I kind of want to air the ball out as much as possible. Not 100% on that, but yeah, definitely want to lock him up And he should sign this. I don't see, yeah. And I received a achievement, even though I've signed a 90 overall before. Yep, that's Madden. But yeah, everybody else I'm gonna be out of. We only have 7.5 million in cap room, and we need to save as much money as we can. So yeah, I'll see you guys. We're not going to be looking to sign any free agents either, so I'll see you guys at the draft. I'll take a quick look at free agency. If there's someone we have to have, I'll maybe move money around, but it's going to have to be there's probably no chance. So I'll see you guys at the draft. Time for setting up our private workouts. I have a bunch of players that I kind of like. I'm not 100% sure. I'm trying to focus on our needs instead of maybe like the wants. They're the centers we looked at for the focus players, or whatever they call the first round. Yeah, the focus players, these are the private workouts. We're definitely taking one of them. It's just, do we want to take one with our, don't know what picks we have exactly, but our late round, first round pick, or do we trade back for a second, or do we take the, instead of the higher guy, do we take the guy that's in round 2 or 3 and try to get a steal? I mean, we know he's round 2 or 3, so he's worse either way. But there's also some tackles that are good. These two guys are steals, and this guy especially is a steal because he's projected round 2 or 3. Now he could go early round or mid round 2, and it wouldn't be as much of a steal. So I guess it depends on how they go. I would love to take Harris, but I'm pretty sure he's going to go number 1. We will take a look at the mock draft. But yeah, so I don't think that's going to be worth it. We would have to basically trade everything we have for one player, and not that he could be, totally unstoppable at, mid 80s, or even, in the low 80s. And that would be unstoppable at left tackle for a rookie. I just don't think it's in the cards to trade up to number 1 or even number 2 from, where are we going to be picking? Mid 20s, early 20s. So, I already would like to get a few more round or late round 1 picks, round 2 picks, because I'm not finding a ton of potential at the end of the draft. The guys I like are definitely round 1, 2, 3 guys. But it depends on how the draft goes and where these guys go. Before our private workouts, I want to know a little bit more about this receiver. He's a slot guy, but for some reason he interests me with the few A's he does have. There's a tight end that I'm interested, even though we don't need tight end. I just want to know more about these guys. There's other guys that I already, know about that I want to take. So even if these guys aren't as good as them, then we'll just move on to the guys that I for sure wanted to take. But in the chance these guys are great, I want to know more. So that's my plan. So I plan, yeah, to do this receiver. Um, if it works. Of course, Madden. Yeah, so this receiver, this tight end, and then probably one of these safeties. I'll probably just go for the round one guy, but we don't know much about him. Um, so other than he has A awareness and he's a hybrid. Um, there's some corners that interest me. This guy has A zone in his zone corner. He's potential undrafted, so he would be at most a 7-round pick, and I just might draft him just to take a look at him, but we would just be taking a chance on him. We're not gonna um, private workout him for any of that reason, just because that's too much um, for someone who's not guaranteed to be that good. So yeah, those are going to be my private workouts. I want to make sure it gets them, because sometimes when it says they're unselected, uh, it they don't you don't get the percentage added on to the scouting report. So I just wanted to back out and make sure they were for sure clicked. So those are going to be our private workouts, and we'll get to the draft next. All right, there was definitely reasons why I liked some of these guys. Now we're not getting huge steals because they're all still rated or projected high, but Terrell is a round 1 talent. He was projected round 1 too. He's the slot receiver. The tight end is exactly where he's supposed to be, round 1 to 2. But the safety that I liked both of these guys, but I definitely liked Rivers more with the A awareness, and that was basically all we knew about him. Other than I did not show that, but I'll show you his physicals. He's a top 5 talent, so yeah, I think he'll be a lock. And one of the other reasons was his physicals. He's pretty much the highest for most of the things, or at least up there, other than bench press and broad jump. But he's the first for 3 cone. He's the third for 20-yard shuttle, and then he is the fastest 40-yard dash. He has elite speed, great acceleration, great agility, and then solid change direction, jumping, and strength. He just looks like he could be a beast, and we know he's a top 5 talent, and we're definitely getting. Now, I think he is projected high. We're gonna take a look at the mock draft now, but I cannot remember on the big board if he is rated. Yeah, he's up there, or at least they say he is. We'll see what exactly on the mock draft. They say he's ranked 22, but they're showing him up a lot. So the mock draft will be key on how much Brian Harris has stayed at the top, like we kind of expected, and he's not as high as I thought he was going to be. This is actually looking good for us. Yeah, he's already just projected to us, and most likely that's because we have him on our board and not because he's actually projected to go there. It could be projected that he goes there, because we do have a lot of people on our board, but he's definitely the best player on our board that would be available at this time. So yeah, I'm not sure exactly what I'm gonna do, because there are a lot of other players I do like in the first round. We may have to make some trades and see how it goes. I don't want to really trade up too high in any of these things, just because it's going to take too much, um, what's it called? Too much capital uh, for any of these tie picks. So probably won't trade up anywhere into 10. I don't know if there's particularly anybody we're looking at in 10 other than Harris, and number one's not going to happen. But we may make a trade up, or we may stick where we're at. I would like to get a tackle, and they are going off the board pretty quickly because we see all of the guys we were looking at. And yeah, so that's the plan for now. But definitely Rivers will be a Buffalo Bill. Alright, NFL draft time. We're going to go ahead and skip ahead. We know who this first pick's going to be. It is Harris. We're going to go through pick by pick for right this second, and get after 10 and probably actually up to closer to 15, and see where who's left on the board, as the Cardinals take another Baker, and then and I advanced to next user pick. I'm sure you guys were yelling at the screen. Well, hopefully the safety didn't go, and he did not, and I most likely was going to come to our user pick. Now let's see who is left on our board. So we have, for favorites, do we have any of... We definitely have the center still. I definitely need one of those. This right tackle probably is a priority too. And then I kind of like the receiver, and obviously I want the safety. I think we're gonna take the safety here. He is right around here. I think we're gonna take him here, and then we may make a trade up for either a late first and a second round, or for 2 late firsts, and try to get some of these other players that I have on my board that I like. We really do need a center. I think center over tackle, but they're both a pretty big need. So we'll definitely go with the safety first, because he's a guarantee. Corey Rivers will be a Buffalo Bill and is number 2 in the draft, and we got him at 21. Good football IQ, understands and executes zone assignments, rarely misses tackles. That sounds like a good safety to me. Please don't tell me normal dev. Hidden dev, 94 speed, hoping for a little bit more, but I'll take 94 at safety especially. Definitely looks good. I'm interested to see his overall, and I'm interested to see if the guard is the number 1 overall player. I kind of suspect it. He wasn't a guard, he was a tackle that went number 1 overall. I kind of suspect that he will be in the 80s, and then hopefully Corey Rivers will be in the 80s too, and maybe even generational, but we'll see. And I'm gonna look into some trades so that we can get some of the players that we want, which may include trading some of our current players, but definitely some of the capital we also have. Alright, you guys may have already known it was coming. I know we just acquired T. Higgins and he was only on our team for 1 year, but we need to make some room in capital, and the draft keeps unpausing. So I need to make this trade quick. But we're trading T. Higgins, 2 fifth round picks, 1 this year, 1 next year, and then all of our 7ths from this year. I don't see value in them, at least right now. And for Will Green, a young starting superstar, doesn't show it here, but superstar left guard that was not starting for the Chargers. Nope, not starting. He's an 81 overall at 23. Yep, that was a great decision. And then we're getting 2 for our second round picks, 1 this year, 1 next year, and a round 1 pick from next year. So yeah, I'm going ahead with this trade, and it is official. And I'm gonna pause the draft again. I will check back with you when we have some other trades, because I definitely want to still get into probably the first round, or high second round. Alright, just trimming some players off that we're no longer going to be in need of, and then trading a third this year and a third in 2 years for the Patriots first round pick 29 of this year. Alright, another trade. We're trading a third round pick from this year, a second from next year. We have 2, a 4th and a 7th from 2029, which is 2 years, for Colton McCoy, if that's how it's pronounced. He's 24 years old, and he's a superstar DT. And I have obviously plans that go along with this. Some of you may be able to figure it out. But yes, he's got 3 years left on his contract, I believe. So he is, a great pickup and costs, basically nothing. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get us a new superstar D tackle. All right, Ed Oliver is on the move. He is a Jacksonville Jaguar for a 2029 first round pick. I decided it was just a little too much money to be paying for him. I love Ed Oliver. I think he's a great bill. But in Madden, it was a little too much money to be paying for an 85 overall when we got a young superstar overall that's only like 7 overall below him and 24. So yeah, Ed Oliver's on the move. All right, Bishop is on the move, and Brandon Allen, which is just an extra to get the trade to go through, are on the move for a this year's second round pick 50 something, 54. But I plan to use that to move up for top round pick of the second round, and then we will be done with the trading. All right, and finally we have pick 33 of the second and a 6th round pick for this year's draft, and we gave up Ray Davis, Ingram, like backup corner. The second we acquired just a moment ago, and a 6th from 2029, a 5th from 2029, and a 6th from 2028, and that'll put us in the spot to get most of the players we want, or at least some of them. We're just gonna skip to our pick and make the best selection that we want first. One of those centers need to be coming with us, and then I would like the receiver. Looks like the right tackle was taken, I believe. So that is a bummer, because that was one of the players that I would have liked. to take. Um, so we're gonna see who's on our board and who's the best. It looks like it's gonna be the receiver. The center was taken. I did not expect that. I did not see that. We do have another right tackle. I think I'm gonna go with the receiver, and then the both of the center and right tackle at the next two picks we have. Um, but we do need someone else, as our third receiver to replace T. Higgins. He was ranked 7. All right, he was a good pick. NFL ready pass catcher, strong hands, makes contested catches look easy, crisp route running on shorter routes. Exactly what we wanted. Hopefully, not normal dev. A receiver with not normal dev this year. Thank goodness. Skills look great. And yeah, we'll go ahead and advance to our next user pick and take. We have the top of the one. We honestly don't need it as much now. Pick at 47. I think I will go ahead though and just make the selection and make it the I'm not sure if both of them are round 2 to 3 or if one is the other center went. Oh boy. I did not expect that. I definitely didn't expect that. Okay. That is interesting. Alright, so we're going to take this guard. Because apparently offensive linemen are flying off the shelves. Yeah. I did not expect that other center to go. He was projected round 2 to 3. We're at the first pick of round 2. He was ranked 25, and we got him at 33. Not terrible. Rarely pushed back by power moves. Shows good technique when run blocking. Understands leverage and uses it to create more power when run blocking. He definitely is more of a run blocker. We are a pass heavy offense, but at the point we're at now, he was the best player available, and he doesn't have normal dev. 91 strength looks good. His pass block, he does have A, pass block power, and B block pass block finesse, but his pass block is a C. Definitely a better run blocker, but I definitely think with upgrades we can make him work, and not having normal dev is a huge plus. Hopefully a 74. I'd be happy with that. He is rated in the first round, so he could be even a 76, but I'd be happy with a 74. And we're going to go ahead and advance to our next user pick and take who we want, or we will trade this pick away. It depends on who's still here. That may have been the free safety I had on my board that the Cowboys took. I wouldn't be surprised he was rated to go sooner. We have the tight end. I'm just going to take him. Yeah, I'm going to still take this corner because I think he's interesting, but I don't think he'll be much. That is what I picked up the 6th round pick for from the Browns. So yeah, I'm just going to take this tight end because he's still here and he's going to be a steal for it. Oh, I'm actually surprised. He was a late round, or he ended up being to the later round of what he was projected, and we basically got him for the pick we had. But played college basketball for 2 years. soft, reliable hands and good speed for a tight end. He'll just be our tight end too, since we don't have Kincaid anymore. And yeah, no, no, not normal dev. He's hidden dev. We've done good. 85 speed, little low, I would say. Definitely perfectly fine. But I didn't pick him for his speed, so I can't complain. Um, but definitely prefer closer to 90, um, especially nowadays. But yeah, it looks good. Um, Good medium route running. His deep routing running is okay. His short route running is good. He's got decent run blocking. Um, yeah, so it looks decent, and A awareness is always good. So it looks like he could be decent, and he's only a backup. And we'll go to our round 3 pick. I don't have anybody specific for this. We may trade this pick away for some capital next year or the year after. Um, so yeah, we'll move on to the next pick, and then at round 6, pick 1, I am gonna pick that corner, who's the last player on our board. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and review offers for this one, because we just need some capital back. That's seems terrible. This one's not bad. I don't really want picks in this draft, actually. I would prefer to have just picks next year or the year after in any sort of fashion. It's not bad. And it looks like this one's going to be it, actually, because yeah, I like this Cardinals one. This will get us a third in 2029 and a fourth in next year. And then we're gonna skip ahead to our next pick and take the cornerback that is a potential undrafted player. But I think there's something there, and if anything, he'll just be a backup. To us, he has great zone. He's a zone archetype. I thought about him more at a safety than corner. But I would have to look into that truly. It was just a quick look. And he ended up being the 14th player in the draft. He was an absolute steal. I knew something what I liked about him. High football IQ, routinely on display. Rangy, and effect rangy and effective in zone coverage. Willing tackler that rarely misses. Yeah, he was great, and hidden dev. Surprised. I kind of expected normal dev with him being rated so high, but I'm a potential undrafted player. This looks like an absolute steal. And yeah, the only thing I really knew when I was making him a favorite was the zone coverage was an A. But it looks like even his awareness was probably an A, his injuries probably an A. All the things are probably better than on the better end than we thought. But yeah, he was a steal, an absolute steal. And I'm gonna go ahead and let the CPU make the last pick, and then I will see you for the recap and the setting up of the team. All right, draft recap. Here we go. Hoping for a good overall from all of our players. We actually did very well with the picks we had, but definitely for the safety. Hopefully in the 80s would be lovely. He's an 81. That is good. And the wide receiver is a 78 or 78, 77, and so is that corner that we got down the board. Wow. This was a really good draft. and it fixed a lot of our needs. The right tackle is a 75. That is great. I was hoping I said for 74. So 75 is great. And then the tight end, which is our backup, is a 74. Great on him too. Yeah, overall a great draft. I'm assuming the guard, I keep calling him a guard, the tackle that went number 1 overall. Ooh, he was an 81. Was he just tied for? He was just tied. So we actually got tied for number 1 overall of the draft. I will check free agency just in case there was a undrafted player like a kicker or something that was really good. But and I'm not sure if we need a kicker or anything. But yeah, we have some of the, well, obviously got the second best player, and then we have a bunch of players in the like tied for what you would call 6 overall. We have the corner and wide receiver, and then I think our tackle, our tackle's 75, and then our tight end's a 74. So yeah, overall great draft, and definitely what I wanted. And yeah, we got the best steal, a 6th round pick, and he could have been later probably. I might have been able to get him with the 7th round pick, but there was no point in waiting. Yeah, he was a great pickup. He'll be great for our team. All right, crazy before the season starts trade. I have decided to trade James Cook. The main reason is because, well, I wanted the player on the other side. And they weren't playing ball with what I wanted to give them originally. And originally they wanted like 3 first-round picks, and I had to figure out another way. I was trying to get rid of a corner. We have way too many corners. We're going to be training a corner for a running back now. But they were happy to have James Cook, and I am happy to have a superstar X Factor 22-year-old Mike linebacker at an 88 overall. Yeah, he's phenomenal. He has 3 years of his rookie contract left. So he's basically free, and he's a massive upgrade and will most likely be the best player on our defense. He is ridiculous. All right, another interesting trade. We needed to get rid of corner, and Benford was the oldest of the bunch that was, not Witherspoon. And so he's on the move, and just some extra players, a 3rd from 2030, 5th, and a 6th for a 1st in 2028, a 2nd in 2028, 3rd, or 2/3, and a 4th. So pretty big haul back for, some backups, Benford, and some 2023 picks. All right, this is the team for season number 3. Yes, a lot of new faces, but some familiar ones. Brown will be starting left tackle still. Our new left guard in green. Still didn't get a center. Dotson will be right guard again. Boyd will be right tackle, first year for him. Laporta still our tight end, with O'Daniel as tight end 2. Shakir will be wide receiver 1. Terrell will be wide receiver 2, and Locker will be wide receiver 3. Didn't get a running back. They're overrated in Madden, and I was not giving up multiple first round picks um, for a running back. They are very important in Madden, but we're gonna stick out with Rashad White, Josh Allen, of course, and that's the offense. And then for the defense, we have our new play caller in Cunningham. He will be a beast. He's still 22 years old, and he's a superstar X Factor. Bernard moved out to Will. We have Walker back, re-signed him out of free agency, and playing Sam again. Rivers, the new crazy overall safety, strong safety, will be starting. Hickman will be starting at free safety. We have Witherspoon still as corner 1, Hairston as corner 2, and the late draft pick in Jenkins as corner 3, and Flott as corner 4. We have Rousseau as left edge and Jackson as right edge as last year. And then we have Sanders, the new starting DT1, and then McCoy, the traded for DT, starting at DT2. And that'll be the team. This is how the specialists are set up. Pretty standard. Terrell will be in the slot, and Jenkins will be in the slot as well. And yeah, so this is how the team will be set up, and then our scouts are set up as well. We are not following the position matches exactly, especially for national. Don't need another corner and wide receiver every single year. So I need to look at some other players and possible some edge help and linebacker help, obviously, but just to look at some other players other than wide receivers and cornerbacks. It's the same thing every year, and we also don't need a quarterback, even though Josh Allen is regressing, which is crazy. But in the West, we'll be looking at cornerback and safety. In the Central, we'll be looking at safety and wide receiver. And in the Northeast, we'll be looking at cornerback and Mike linebacker. And then the Southeast, we'll be looking at cornerback and wide receiver. Not 100% sure on what the focuses will be, but I'll set that at week 3. But I will bring you guys back at week 8, the midseason. Hopefully this year can be a better year. The team is definitely did take some hits at some things. I think we're the exact same overall as almost last year, or close. But I think with development over the season, will be a lot higher of that all. We got a lot younger, and a lot better in certain positions. So give some time for development. I think this can be a good season. Sticking in the same playbooks as last year. Cincy offense, Giants as defense. All right, midseason mark. We're 6-1. This team's back. Please do not lose too many games in the second half of the season. We are progressing okay. Our national focus, I think I'm going to do edge for our national focus. I just want just more looks at edge and to see how good this edge class could be. It is the number 1 overall player, but other than that, in the top 5, there isn't any. But yes, that's going to be our national focus, is going to be edge, and we will set our focus players at week 13. But so far looking all right. We're fifth for points in the game, and then we're only allowing 12.4 points on defense per game, which is crazy. Josh Allen's look like he's having a good season. Witherspoon and Rousseau not showing sacks. We can look at leaders right now. Josh Allen's in the lead for most passing yards. And then Shakir is down for second most receiving yards. Other than that, that's all we have. And then this is a look at Miami having a good year too. Texans good year, Chiefs good year, great. Um, and yeah, the AFC North is not as good as usually expect them, but obviously, they're all pretty good teams, so they're all playing each other, other than Cleveland, obviously. But Pitt's not having that great of a season, but yeah, the East is having a great season. And the West is similar to what you expect too. But yeah, so we're definitely on a good path. Let's keep cooking. All right, focus players for season 3 are gonna be like last season. 3 centers. I really want to find something at that position. We weren't able to get it last year, so this year has to be the year. So it'll be 3 top centers, and that'll be our focus players, and then probably definitely different stuff for once we have a better idea of the draft. The private workouts will be different players, different positions. Well, I didn't think this rebuild was going to be that hard. I have no idea why we cannot win games. We went 9-8 and missed the playoffs altogether this year. We have an 89 overall straight team, and I will show you the roster again. We had one big upgrade mid-season on defense, but we have a great team. We were lacking at running back, but I would say we are not lacking. Our line is starting to look really good. Center. Oh my gosh. Our rookie tight end had Superstar X Factor. Okay. We're gonna need to get him playing time. And I hope he doesn't go down, because I'm sure he didn't play that much this season. Okay, that is a new development that I was unaware of. But yeah, our line is looking good. We have a great tight end, great tight ends. Our receivers are coming along. Terrell only had star, but is coming along great. Locker's developing. Everybody's playing up. And then on defense, Greg Rousseau ended up getting Superstar X Factor. Jenkins ended up with Superstar. Rivers only had Star. And then we have our Superstar X Factor middle linebacker. The team looks amazing, but is playing not great. And when you look at the stats, it's odd. I mean, we were scoring 25 points a game. The defense fell off a bit, definitely. And ended up, we were at 12, only allowing 12 points a game in the beginning of the season. And now we ended up allowing 21 on average. But still, we had the second best passing offense. Our offense was great. Rush yards wasn't great, but we're focusing on the pass game. And I thought defense was going to be better. I mean, to be so bad in the rush game and the pass game with the defense and players we have is just absolutely awful. Yeah, nothing other than to say than we need to get to the off season and figure this out. So I'll see you at the season recap. All right, you have the Eagles winning the Super Bowl. They are actually, this would be their third Super Bowl. Not sure why it says two. Mike N'Kobe Dean won Super Bowl MVP. Joe Burrow won NFL MVP. Pete Carroll won the Coach of the Year. Joe Burrow Offensive Player of the Year. Micah Parsons for Defensive Player of the Year. Rookie of the Year was Dean Cooks of the Dolphins. Deion Cooks, sorry. And the Defensive Rookie of the Year was Forrest Cason for the Bengals. And then I'll go over our season stats, even though, we had a good season, but Josh Allen wasn't the problem. 4,900 yards, 39 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. Great season from him. Rushing, Rashad White wasn't good. 3.7 yards per carry is not great. And 11 touchdowns is good. And then receiving, we had Shakir was the best. And surprisingly, the other receivers did not produce as well as I thought they would. Shakir had 129 catches for 1,330 and 30 yards, 1,330 yards, and 6 touchdowns. Locker had 78 receptions for 973 and 6 touchdowns. Terrell had 61 catches for 864 yards and 9 touchdowns. Sam Laporta had 87 catches for 814 yards and 7 touchdowns. I was trying to look for our other rookie tight end who did absolutely nothing. 7 for 59 for 1. We need to get him more involved. And something needs to happen because this is not, I don't understand. The team was good. And then on defense, Cunningham was great. Had 116 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, 1 interception, or 1 sack, and 3 interceptions. For tackles for loss, we had 17 from Rousseau, 11 from Jackson, 9 from Sanders. Bernard had 6. McCoy had 5. Cunningham had the 4, and then we had some other ones. And then for sacks, we only had 10.5 sacks, which is crazy because this team's been putting up way more sacks usually. And then McCoy, the new addition to our team, first year starting, had 9.5. Good for him. Jackson had 8, and Sanders only had 4. I would expect more from him, and I would expect more from Rousseau. But we did not get what we needed. We had the 3rd best offense and 11th best defense in yards. Points scored 4th, and points allowed 14th. Not great. It was not a bad season. I don't know what caused us to lose so many games other than the running back position, center, linebackers, outside linebackers. Other than that, I feel like we're solid, but we do not want to win. Yeah, it's sad. We do have 75 million, not 74 million in salary cap, so we're not too bad in salary cap, and we'll have to see who needs to be re-signed, and then see if we can sign some people to help us win some games. 90 overall, and can't win enough games to even make the playoffs. All right, just two big re-signings. The problem is neither of them have any interest in us. Oh, actually, one's just a fifth-year option. Thank goodness. We will pick that up. But Witherspoon, I would like to come back. If in worst case scenario, he will be franchise tagged and traded. But I'm not sure what his interests are. Okay, no income tax. Can't change that. Historical championships. Well, can't change that if we can't even make the playoffs. And then big market, can't change that. So he may end up needing to get franchise tagged. It's a lot of money to offer him, but he's also really good and still only 27. I'll probably give him the low risk and see. It's a lot of money. It's definitely a lot of money. But he is our corner one, and he's not interested in signing. And I'm not interested in caring. It's going to be 28 mil. We're paying him less than what he wanted. But we are probably going to have to trade him. We could try to keep him and then see where we are next year. I am not, 100% sure on, what the best option would be for that. He's definitely, the cornerstone of our cornerback core. But at the same time, we're not going to be able to sign him. And here's the halfback I was looking for. Oh, the Lions ran out of money, I guess. But I was wondering, I kind of figured a lot of what I was looking for running backs, a lot of running backs didn't, or a lot of teams didn't have salary cap. They were over the salary cap by a lot, and so it was hard to trade. So I kind of expected some running backs to make it in here. And yeah, I think we found our main attraction in free agency. I will work on some deals and let you know. All right, Witherspoon's on the move for Tate, a first round pick this year, a second round pick this year, and a first round pick next year. We're giving up also a fourth round or two fourth round picks this year and a second round pick this year. But just getting younger, cheaper, and Tate's a very good overall for 23 years old. And they basically didn't really want much for him. So I took him up on the offer. All right, I'm making this the year. We need an unstoppable defense. And we also need to save some money. I don't know if this trade exactly saves us any money. I think it actually maybe makes us lose out on some money, but this was the best player that the Jags wanted to offer. And so Brown and a second, third, and another third for Josh Hines-Allen to go along with Greg Rousseau. It's going to be unstoppable defense. All right, I said we were going all out this year. We're not going to be able to afford anything next year. Going after Jahmyr Gibbs, Brian Branch, just the whole Lions team in general, and Jack Campbell, and Dominic Puna. I'm saying that correct. He may not sign. He's not a fan of being here, even with money. And yeah, we're gonna go for everybody. And I always do this. Do the wrong button. Everybody signed. Everybody signed and we didn't get? Oh my gosh. I did not expect that. Wow, that is interesting. Yeah, I tried to go all out and we did not go all out. Alrighty. Well, I'm gonna reevaluate and see what we can do. Alright, well, we have the rookie tight end, his superstar X Factor. I decided, and he did not have enough trade value, in my opinion, for what he is, a superstar X Factor young tight end. So I decided that Sam Laporta is going to be on the move. I want this to be the year. I need this team to learn how to win. And we're getting Dom, I believe it's Dom Holloman. You might recognize him from, I believe it was the first draft. I'm not sure, first or second draft. But we're also getting a first and a fourth, fifth, and sixth just as, just to build up some of the stock. We have plenty of first round picks, but some of the later round picks we don't have for some of our later seasons. So those are for 2030. I'm going to keep making this team as good as I can, and I don't think tight end is going to be as impactful as our receivers. And we needed someone that was a true stud. And I think Hellman with Superstar X Factor, 89 overall, at 24, he can definitely be that. All right, for our private workouts, we're going to look at just a few running backs that I've picked out. And then we're going to see what we do in the draft. Not sure. Salary cap's kind of in a tough spot. So I'm not sure if what we're going to do with our picks exactly. If we're going to take guys or if we're going to trade them away or exactly, but we're kind of in a tough spot with salary cap, obviously trying to go all out though. And really make this team unstoppable because I have no idea why they haven't been able to win in the last few years. So, but yeah, for private workouts, just a few running backs. All right, draft time. Definitely some players I'm interested in. Not sure if they're going to totally help our needs. And as you see, we have 4 first round picks. I did a lot of trading and couldn't get players I wanted, so I went after picks. And I was trying to move a bunch of stuff around, and then salary cap penalties came into play and stuff. I don't think we really have too much to move around with. I think we either trade back or stick and pick. Yeah, because I just don't think we have much room in our salary cap and what we think. So we'll just skip to 13. Some of the players I would like might go off the board, but they're not like anything for sure that are going to help us this year. We'll go over the team fully once all of this is done, but it's as good as it's ever been. I can't do much more. I mean, maybe it would have been better to let some things develop, but we also got a lot of new good players that are younger, and yeah. Oh, with the one thing I may consider if he's on the board is a quarterback, even though we probably won't ever need him. He just looked unbelievable. And yes, it is. It's this guy. Uh, he just looks like he could be unstoppable. I'm not sure. His rank's 18. But I do think I want to take him. I mean, he's got 4 straight A's. And he's a field general. He has only good throw power, solid speed, and poor acceleration. So his physicals aren't anything to be blown away by, but his stats, at least on the board, at least where it comes into account with awareness and all the accuracies, under pressure, B throw on the run, like all of the things that matter, seem to be really high. So I don't know. I kind of want to take him. Not sure if he's gonna go anytime soon. Gonna go ahead and I can't favorite the other player. With this pick though, I'm not sure. Not sure who's the biggest priority. We have some running backs that we looked at that are good. Not him. We have the centers. We don't totally need a center. This edge I'm gonna take later down the line. This free safety, I don't know about this one, or it's because it's showing all the stats. Interest me, but he's a lot of just solid. I think we will trade back some. I think that's what our plan is gonna be, and then probably pick up still the pick in the first round. Yeah, no, actually we're gonna trade out fully from this pick. The Seahawks are offering me 2 first round picks for this pick, so I'm gonna take them up on that offer, and we'll skip to our next pick, and then we'll make a selection. Probably got quarterback if he's still there. Not for any particular reason, but I think he's just gonna be one of the better players, and I can't remember what his name was because Steven Butler was the Seahawks pick. No, is this him? Let's go to favorites, and we wanted this guy, yes. Cooper McCullough, maybe, or maybe not. Yeah, so he's gonna be your pick. I think he's one of the better players in the draft, and we have at least a plan for Josh Allen. I don't think we're gonna need a plan, but I really want to see if he's actually that good, because he looks phenomenal. And he's not. He is surprisingly not as good as I thought he was. He does have hidden development, and with all those A's, he was only ranked 39. I honestly thought he was one of the top players. We'll skip to our next pick, and here we go. We'll look at our favorites. We probably should consider one of the running backs sooner than later. I have so many players on the board that, I like, but we don't really need any of them. I think one of these running backs is going to be the choice. I think I'll go with the elusive back. And see how good he is. He is a first round talent, so we know he's number 16. Slippery juke move, spin move creates problems for defenders, shows good balance to run through tackles. And yeah, I don't know if he'll be our starter because he's probably not going to be 80 plus. But he'll definitely get some reps in. And then advance to our next user pick. Could consider taking an offensive lineman. Did I just skip back past our pick? We'll read back to back. And I advance the next user pick. Oh boy. All right. Well, they probably took someone off the board. It could have been the other running back. I'm not sure what the selection is going to be here. Yeah, that was 100% my fault. I didn't realize. Wow, this quarterback is falling like no tomorrow. And I'm not sure I like these tight ends, but we don't really need another tight end. We're not in total need of a like. I think the best thing for us is just to trade out of our picks and try to. The team is built, and if we can just get some more capital, to have and make it even better, that'll be most likely best bet. So I'm probably gonna trade out of most of our picks. If there's any pick I make, we only have a 6th-round pick now, so I will see you at the draft recap. There's not going to be much interesting other than finding out who else we took in the 1st round. All right, draft recap. Nothing going to be too interesting. The quarterback was a 74. He was obviously good. Yeah, I'd be happy with that. I mean, other than the throw power, I mean, he even has 80 speed. He's a good-looking player, actually. In my opinion, he's a good starter, especially depending on what his dev trade is. Yeah, that he's a good starter. He was a good player. It just didn't look great at the pick, but you wouldn't you wouldn't be unhappy with getting that for that pick, even in real life. Quarterbacks come in Madden are rated much higher than they rate real life quarterbacks. I think Cam Ward, I mean, he was number 1 overall, and I think he came in at, can't remember if it was 74 or 72. I think it might have been actually 74. But yeah, they go, I mean, that pick, yeah, I think that he is a good starter, other than his throw power is a little low. This is a running back, he's a 76. He looks good as well. Well-rounded. Does everything kind of decent. Maybe not spectacular in one thing, other than maybe juke move. But looks very good. Another good starter. It's just our team is so built. And then this center. Oh, we took one of the centers. That's actually good. Yeah, he looks good too. He looks great. That was a great pick. So yeah, I'm glad that I had the centers on my draft board. And yeah, so that's the draft recap, and gonna fix some things on the roster, and I'll update you on the regular season roster. All right, needed a running back. Caleb Johnson is basically 1 million. He may be on the last year of his deal, but we needed to save some money. We could save some money on trading Bernard. And we got Caleb Johnson. Hope I'm saying that right. As a running back for us. And yeah, I think that'll be much better than Rashid White. Alright, might have actually been able to get more than I did, but I thought he was going to be highly valued. But I don't think the Sam linebacker spot is as valued as the other ones. But Rashid White's on the move since we traded for a running back. Another first is on the move, and we're getting Hitchens and Stevenson. Stevenson's just mainly a cap thing, but he's an 81 overall corner, so you know he's decent. But Hitchens is the real thing. Prize, Superstar X Factor Sam linebacker to add to our defense. I think we're pretty much set. Okay, this is the team for season number 4. Lewis is gonna try some tackle this year. Yep, he's turning over a new leaf, trying some tackle. I know. Yep, Green, Quintana, if that's how it's pronounced. Dotson, Boyd, O'Donnell, and then as for our tight end, and then it'll be Holloman and Shakir, Terrell, Locker, and then Johnson, Josh Allen, obviously, and yeah, that's our offense. And then defense is Hickman and Rivers for safeties. Our linebacking core looks sick. Campbell, Cunningham, Hitchens, all superstar X Factor, should be beasts. And then Hairston for corner 1, Tate corner 2, Jenkins for corner 3, and then Flott for corner 4. We have Hines Allen and Rousseau coming off the edge, both with Fearmonger. They're sick. We should be killing it. And then Sanders and McCoy coming up the middle. Just going to check on specialists. Looks good to me. We obviously have the addition this year of Johnson, a bunch of additions this year. Trying to win it all. Don't know why this team is struggling so much. These are going to be our scouts for this year. Oh, not the one I wanted. D tackle and offensive tackle for national. And then for the West, we have edge rusher and defensive tackle. And then we have wide receiver, tight end for Central. Then we have the interior offensive lineman, which is technically not good, but it's only left guard. So centers and right guards are still good. And then offensive tackle, and then edge rusher and linebacker for the Southeast. So yeah, that's going to be the start of the season. And let's win some games. I mean, we're so much better. I think we're better than what they rate us at. Our defense should be unstoppable. Yeah, let's win some games. It's time to win it all. Quick mid-season up. We're doing well. We're 4th in points scored and 5th in passing yards. We are on defense. We're 9th in allowing passing yards and 2nd in allowing rushing yards. 13th in points scored. Hopefully the defense will come around. We are 5-1 at the top of AFC East, but New York Jets are right behind us. Yeah, so we need to keep on moving, and yeah, this will be the quick update, and we will move on to focus players. Hopefully continue to win. Alright, finally, team's playing like it's supposed to be. 10-1. Thank goodness. First in points per game, first in yards or passing yards per game, first in defensive points of game, or not allowing points, which is phenomenal. We need to keep this up. Yeah, this is looking like the year. Gonna look at the draft board and see what our focus players are. And I will show you them in a minute. Alright, Season 4 focus players. I want to see about both of these tight ends. I think, even though this one's supposed to be top 5, I think this other one is also really good. And I'm going to go with the guard, I believe. Yeah, this guard, the pass blocking guard, I'd like to know about. Those are going to be the... I want to know that about them fully. I want to know their talent fully. And we may just continue on because some of these other guys I really do find interesting. So they may be our private workouts. But these three guys will be the focus players for Season 4. Alright, this is finally what I expected. Number 1 offense in points per game. Number 2 in pass yards per game. Rushing, obviously, not focusing on. And number 1 in defensive points per game. And number 3 in the passing yards. And we were 28th in rushing yards, but that was still only 65 yards on average, which is kind of crazy to think. That's 28th in the league. Yeah, 93 overall, 92 offense, 92 or 93 defense. First round bye. Yeah, 15-2, way better than anybody in the league. This will be the playoff bracket. We have the Jags and Patriots playing the Bengals and Colts, and then the Chargers and Texans. And then on the other side, your first round bye is the Eagles. Your first game is the Bears and Cowboys. Then you have your Rams and Packers and Giants and Falcons. Good season, and this is the time now. We need to win these games and make it to the Super Bowl. We're gonna go ahead and advance to the divisional round of games, and this will be our first game. We'll find out who we are playing. We will actually go over season stats before this goes on. Just going to auto upgrade these two players, and so we will be playing the Patriots. We've beaten them multiple times this season, and there's no reason we should lose here. I am going to sim the game and pray for a win. Here we go. Oh, doesn't look good. Oh, no, win the game. I was worried there a little bit. Oh, 26-21. Yeah, I was worried a little bit there. With that sign. But we'll go over our season stats. We had Josh Allen had a wonderful year, 5,158 yards, 40 touchdowns, 8 picks. Rushing obviously didn't do much, and I would have expected a little bit better of yards per carry, actually, from Johnson. 3.9 is not that great, but 23 touchdowns. Wow, didn't see that number. And then 1 from Josh Allen on the ground. Receiving, Terrell went off. 93 receptions for 1,531 yards and 12 touchdowns. Shakir, 101. We were throwing the ball. 1,281 yards and 9 touchdowns. For Holloman, 114, had the most receptions. 1,064 yards and 9 touchdowns. Tight end didn't do too much, but 633 yards and 3 touchdowns. And the halfback we had some more touchdowns on the ground. He had a crazy year combined. Yeah, that is 28 touchdowns combined. That is crazy. Yeah, so overall a great year, but we also had a great year on defense. We had 132 tackles for Cunningham. Campbell had 109. Rousseau had 93 tackles for loss. We had 16 from Sanders, 15 from Rousseau, 14 from Hines Allen, and 8 from McCoy, and 7 from Campbell, and 6 from Jenkins, and some other people had some, but we have finally got the season sacks we were looking for. 22 and a half ties the season record. Maybe not in this franchise, but not sure if anybody's got more than that, but in real life ties it. And then 16 and a half for Hines Allen, 8.5 for McCoy. Sanders had 6.5. Campbell had 5.5. Hitchens had 4.5, and then Rivers had a sack and a half, and some other guys had a sack and a half and a sack. Yeah, but definitely getting the pressure we were looking for, and didn't have too many picks. Kind of would like more, but we were getting after the quarterback, and he wasn't able to throw. So, yeah, this was a real good season, and there's no reason we should lose this game to the Colts. And I'm gonna go ahead and advance week. If we lose this game, might crash out. But we have won the game. Does not give the score. That's lovely. Down at the side, it'll be here somewhere. It was 736. Wow. We blew them out. And we are in the Super Bowl against the Cowboys. Not sure if that was one of the teams that the Bills lost to off of the top of my head, but there's a good chance it was. I would have to look that up. Alright, Super Bowl time it is, and yes, it was Bills Cowboys twice. One time lost by 50, or the Cowboys scored 52 on the Bills. I had a feeling. I knew it was in the back of my mind that they had played, that they were one of the 4 losses, but they were 2 of the 4 losses. So it's time for revenge. We're jumping in for this one. We're gonna sim the game, but sim it while watching. Yes. Yes, so we can watch it in real time. We are a 93 to their 86. There's no reason we should lose this game. There's no reason. We should be hoisting the Lombardi Trophy at the end of this game. And here we are, the Super Bowl. And we will go ahead and jump to the next quarter and see where we're at after the first quarter. Now scoring, we come to a 7-point lead at the end of the first quarter. As we go to the second quarter, if the Cowboys don't score again, we score again. We're shutting the Cowboys out. We're 17-0. Jumping forward to the second half, third quarter. Here we go. 24-0. Oh, is it going to be a shutout? This is what the Bills should be doing with this type of team. Oh, the Cowboys do score, but it's it's a little too late, and the Buffalo Bills are Super Bowl champions, and they get their revenge on the Cowboys. Josh Allen finally wins a Super Bowl. Sean McDermott finally gets his Super Bowl in Buffalo. We've been chasing this for years. We had the opportunity of a lifetime in the 90s. Go to it 4 times, but lose every single one. And there it is, the hoist of the Lombardi Trophy. The Buffalo Bills are Super Bowl champions. And we'll go over, look ahead and look at the stats of the game. Doesn't look like it was crazy from either. Oh boy. The Cowboys QB, he was not good. He was 6 for 16 with 103 yards and 1 touchdown. Our defense is sick. Josh Allen was 18 for 18 for 23, 273 yards, and 78% completion percentage, and 1 touchdown. For rushing, Johnson was good, 4 yards per carry. We held them. Oh my gosh, we held them by, they had no rushing yards, and they barely tried to rush. They barely had the ball. It looks like. Johnson had 18 attempts for 72 yards and 1 touchdown. Josh Allen 6 for 25 and no touchdowns. Receiving, Holloman went off 6 for 121 and 1 touchdown. Terrell had 5 for 68, no touchdown. Shakir had 4 for 56. George Pickens is still a Cowboy. Not too much else to talk about. Defense, Rousseau had no tackles for loss, but 1.5 sacks. We had no tackles for loss, but we had 2 players. We had 2 players with 1.5 sacks, and then Josh Allen and McCoy had a 0.5 sack each. Great game. Do we have any No, we didn't have any interceptions. The quarterback didn't have any forced fumbles. No forced fumbles. Yep, just a few pass deflections. And no touchdowns on defense. Shouldn't have had. Overall, a great game, and that will do it for this rebuild. I will go ahead and for you guys and sim to the end of next season. I will be simming through the draft and everything. The CPU will take care of it all, and we'll just see if we can win back-to-back ones. So I will catch you at that point when we have simmed all the way to the season recap of next year. Just a quick update before I sim the next season. This is what the team looks like and what the CPU has done. Most people are still here on offense. We did lose Johnson, but everybody else is here, and this is our rookie we drafted last year. The rookie quarterback ended up having superstar. He ended up being actually a good player. And then on defense, we lost Hines Allen. Hitchens is still here. He's just hurt for 1 more week. Otherwise, the band is staying together, except McCoy's hurt, and we lost Sanders. So CPU did not retain these guys, but I did not give them a great situation with the cap. But that was not my problem. They did sign exactly 2 67 overall rush ends. Not sure why 2, and both of them suck. And looks like they might have drafted multiple DTs, or these some of the guys we had. But team's still great, just not as good as it was. But I will sim the season and let you guys know if we win another Super Bowl. Alright, boy, I'm glad we stopped when we did. That's going to do it for the Bills rebuild. I'll give you a look. But yeah, that's going to do it. Since he won their first Super Bowl. I hope you guys liked it. Please like and subscribe and let me know if you have any suggestions of things you would like to see. And if you liked this video and want to see more. And thanks for watching. And I hope you enjoy the content that's coming soon.